All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Day five actually. Man, these days go, these days just run themselves ragged. But we are live here on Radio Row here in where are we at? In New Orleans, Louisiana. Fight of Super Bowl 56.
So,
Darren Smith right here, and I have the great pleasure of having live with me. He is the AMVG Music owner. Is a private company, but it
AVMG, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
Oh, sorry, AMVG. I'm sorry,
A
AMVMG. It's a lot of
AVMG.
AVMG Music, which is a private company owned by Mr. Daniel Azur, who's joining me right now, distributes and music publishing operation that has a digital channel that extends far out across the world, across the globe. And he is taking his time out of his busy schedule to join me right now on Radio Road. Mr. Azur, thank you so very much for your time. How are you doing this afternoon?
By God's grace, we are doing phenomenally well. It's a blessing and a pleasure to have you make time for me on your valuable platform. And let's get to it, man. Let's have fun with this weekend.
Hey, look, first of all, if the people knew what we were doing to get this going, man, I'll tell you, man, this is actually
Technology,
fun.
right?
So you
Technology.
taught me something new before we even started all this stuff.
So,
So,
nah, nah,
so
nah.
yeah, so I'm gonna be doing some stuff Super Bowl Sunday now, just because of you was with what we kind of came up with. But first, Super, how did you get started in the business, and give our audience like a little background on your rise to the top?
Well, first of all, I got started by the grace of God, who invested his power in me to study the business of music publishing and rights management back in 1996. Um, I started as a repertoire manager for a firm known as MCPS, which is the Mechanical Copyright Protection Society in London, England. And then, um, fast forward, the MCPS is the equivalent of ASCAP. So ASCAP is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. And had the pleasure of engaging with the chairman of ASCAP, Mr. Roger Greenway, to help develop the first international royalty payment mechanism to pay American artists with European reach and audiences. So when American artists and songwriters were selling overseas in Europe, most of the time they weren't getting their royalties. So a new blanket license had to be created to pay the American content owners. Here comes this young man to help solve that problem. And I've been solving problems in publishing and rights management ever since.
Look, our audience may not know, but when I got a chance to look at the roster of artists that you work with, including Carl Thomas, and for someone who used to watch Love and Hip Hop growing up, well, talking like I'm young, but DJ Self, and look, yeah, Lil Kim, and Lil Kim. I can tell you a story about Lil Kim, man. When I was an intern at the White House, she called the White House to wish me happy birthday, man. So shout out to her, for what she did. That was back then when she was a totally different Lil Kim. But yeah, I had a big crush on her back in the day. Of course, working with Olivia and Rick Ross, and so I mean, how did you just get involved with all these major artists that you have on your platform?
I'll be honest with you. For example, the first time I met Little Kim, she came to London, did a show at a place
Mm.
called the Forum, Kentish Town. And that was around 96 or 97. She came with 112. And a friend of mine, Abraham from BDP Entertainment Compound, he had just signed a relationship situation with Neo. So I was riding with him as like a road marketing agent to help develop campaigns for new artists. And they had brought Little Kim and 112 to the Kentish Town, and I came for the sound check. And in the sound check, I was able to, give her flowers. She just dropped that first Little Kim album, the iconic Little Kim album where she was posing.
Hey,
Let's just say posing
yeah, yeah.
fun with hip hop. And also just myself and just said, it was an honor to make her acquaintance. And if anything I could do to support her in the future, let me know. Not knowing that, fast forward to like 2015, I flew into the US and relocated in 2010. So almost like 10 years or so later, we re-engaged in the US, and I was like, yo, what's going on here? And she was like, what? You're in New York, now? I said, yeah, I'm in New York. So let me know what we could do. And her agent, um, Soji was the guy that I knew. And, I reached out to him so we could do a relationship or a distribution agreement I had with Sony to start releasing unreleased music from some of the counterparts I had relationships with. And the next thing you know, she phone. She was like, "What I want to do Afro beats." This was like before Afro beats was huge. I want to do Afro beats. I want to do international stuff. Let me know whatever you can do. We've been ever since.
Man, for that's some great history. You know, my mom is watching, so I gotta say hello to my mom.
Hey,
When she
mom.
texts, I have to, yeah, when she texts, I have to respond because trust me, I'll hear it, and she won't cook for me when I get back home from the Super Bowl. So
No,
gotta make sure I get
don't mess up. We don't want that. When you're
it.
stuck in the store, get the real deal from your mom.
Big fact. Now, why? I guess my biggest question would be why do what you do? 'Cause, I mean, people have different reasons as to why they do it, but what is your reason as to the why you do what you do?
Well, when I was younger, um, songwriters for me are the heartbeat of any organization within media and entertainment. Um, I did it because one, I used to help songwriters with their rights management. And the majority of them didn't get their just due in terms of credit for works that they composed, marketing and awareness for their identity and involvement in works. And there's a lot of talent which I feel is still unrealized. And so I said, you know what? Take a step to the front and have a role to play with helping songwriters and composers generate a real revenue and a real form of by the songs they composed. No one really did that. Most people got ripped off industry and didn't help. My goal was to be that caveat that could assist with the business side of being in the entertainment business. I didn't find a lot of entities that were out there that could do that. So I thought I would take that opportunity and take the responsibility to stand up for our people and our culture.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that very much, and the culture thanks you for it as well. We talked before we came on air, but talk about some of the projects that you have going. I know, or that you have coming up. I know you mentioned one, a Latin project that you have going on. So, talk about some of the many things that you have that's upcoming for our audience.
No, I really appreciate that. We're here in 2025, and if you watch the Grammys on the weekend, you saw the world famous Benny Medina, and you saw some additional genres that are now coming to light. And so my goal with my independent platform is to reach new audiences and to break new markets. And so I'm so excited to talk about my new division, which is called AVMG Latin America. And I started this because number one, I've just joined forces from a distribution point with none other than Jay-Z's music company, Rock Nation, who have now evolved from just a record label to giving independent startups like myself distribution services. And so I wanted to widen my commitment to breaking new cultures into the Latin arena and fuse Afrobeat, hip hop, and Latin under one platform. I've got some new artists that are going to be bringing to the table. My two guys, Sambu, Moro Jordan, Pelu, Luna Maria. We even got one iconic name from the hip hop industry joining us here. My guy G Dep originally did the song "Special Delivery." He's gonna be doing cameos with us as a part. So there's some top secret things that got going on. My guy Ghost uh, Fashion. Gonna be working with my man's Michael Cherry to develop some apparel. And really some top secret things that I think will be exciting for 2027, 2025, 2026 next year with the World Cup. And the World Cup is coming to North America.
Ooh, yeah.
With soccer being a big Latin influence, You've got Maradona, who was Latin with Argentina. You got Ronaldo,
Ronaldo. Yep.
and the list goes on. So I want to be that caveat that fuses sports, media, and entertainment through music.
And just so you know, the World Cup is also coming to Kansas City as well. We're going to be hosting, I believe, a minimum of 4 games at least. So so we got the World Cup coming to Kansas City as part of the, North America games that are being played there. So I'll
Well,
be at the games covering it. So definitely can't wait to see the type of influence that you have
well,
on the musical choices there.
you know what I can do to give you as much information, or just find a seat for me in the back somewhere. I see a little seat there in the back. I'll be consistent, give you some support.
Uh, we can do that. Now let's look at this week's game, this weekend's game. You got the Chiefs and you got the Eagles. Now we kind of talked about a little bit, but before we got on the air, I want to get your thoughts on this matchup. Of course, this is a rematch from 2 years ago. Well, yeah, this is a rematch from 2 years ago where the Chiefs came back from behind, had a 35. Well, it was tied up 35 apiece. They ended up kicking a game-winning field goal, winning 38-35. Love to get your thoughts on this weekend's matchup between Patrick Mahomes leading the Kansas City Chiefs and, of course, Saquon Barkley leading the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, so my opinion is I can't lie. I've been watching Mr. Mahomes um, when he was underdog. Like I love underdogs, and you saw this young man start as a braveheart. Like literally, when I remember Patrick Mahomes' name coming up in the media, I never heard anything about no Saquon Barkley. You know,
Wow, thanks.
he wasn't an underdog at that time. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I don't like to switch teams. You know what I mean? At the time, Mahomes had a skill. That was the other reason why I went with Mahomes. His ability to curve the ball, the way he threw the ball and he had that curve with it. That was to me a unique skill, similar to how David Beckham in soccer would do that with scoring goals from a corner kick. He could do that with his throw, and to me, that was a personal skill that he developed, and so that just made me ride with him as someone who was passionate to develop his own signature within his industry.
So you said I just said that that you like the Chiefs on Sunday, right? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm just saying, based on his skill set,
Yeah, there's a
but
certain set of skills. I got you.
you cannot deny greatness. And to me, that gentleman has has demonstrated greatness time and time again, which is why they're the third time. It's the third time at the Super Bowl for them.
Mr. Zero,
I'm more of a soccer guy, but you can't deny
oh yeah.
greatness. You just have to bow down and acknowledge it and give it its just due.
Yeah, trust me, I love soccer too. We got 2 soccer teams in Kansas City. I get a chance to cover Sporting KC along with the KC Current, and they built the first North American outdoor soccer stadium, specifically for women, and so it's great, and I mean it gives our young women, at least back home in Kansas City and Missouri, a place that they can call their own. So,
And speaking
but Mr. Zerb,
of, we got to stop and take a moment to acknowledge my our mutual ride or die honorary family member, Miss
oh, you talking about Miss Sherilyn Dozier?
Sheldon Dozier. I mean, come on, let's take an ad commercial break. No commercial, not paid for. None of this would have taken place without Miss Dozier, who I met in 2008 through an initiative called Mecca Global or Mecca
Okay.
360. And Mecca 360 was a St. Louis-based media
Hmm.
entertainment platform that Ms. Cheryl Dozier invited me to join as an international industry expert to give insight into what's happening in Europe and the UK. And she was driving government relations for Mecca 360, as well
Yep.
as um,
That's her.
Linda Robbins, who was head of marketing and promotions for Mecca 360. So I want to shout out to St. Louis. I want to shout out to Kansas City and Missouri, and really say thank you to Cheryl for keeping me aligned to my international media entertainment brothers and to introducing me to yourself. So Cheryl, my heart goes to you. You know, I'm always here no matter what we need. And there's big secret things coming behind Cheryl. Stay tuned.
Let me tell you one thing. One thing I know about Miss Doja, when she calls, I answer. The only time I can't answer is if I'm literally on the air or if I'm in the restroom. But when she calls, I answer. And she called me last night. Well, I think we talked a couple times yesterday, but she called me late last night. Like, hey, Darren, I got this guy I want you to interview. I was like, and I don't say no. I just say let's find a time and let's make it happen. But when she calls, say she gets stuff done. So she's
Yeah.
been. I've known her since literally my freshman year in college because me and her daughter went to school together at Lincoln University. So I always knew her when I was in college, and she was I don't want to date myself, but but it's been a minute since I've been in school. But I've known her that long, and never have I not asked for anything that she hasn't been able to come through. And she don't have to ask me. She's like my mom. She tells me what she wants, and I get it done. So that's just how it is. So
And
that's
I
that's Miss
double
Doja,
I echo that sentiment. You know, her heart has always been in the right place for a greater cause.
always.
Of she stands for as a beacon of light for the unspoken and for those who are voiceless, and definitely, being part of the executive Black Caucus for the state of Missouri. You know, she definitely stands up for more than just media entertainment, and actually from a civil rights perspective, she makes sure that our voices and our expertise is heard. So I want to say stand up in Missouri for having such an amazing spokeswoman within their region. So I'm really grateful for Cheryl and her patronage to me as well. So as a Londoner and a UK head, she has just always looked further afield. And let's make this moment more than just a moment of 15 minutes of fame. Let's just make this almost like a 15 years of future talent.
Hey, say less. Look, we got each other's contract. Before I let you out of here, please let our audience know where they can find you at on social media, and just how they can just follow along with the work that you do. And please let them know your website as well.
Darren, man, thank you so much for offering me that opportunity. So, what I do is distribution, music publishing, rights management, and marketing. If you need any of those services or you just need consulting and advice, you can reach me here on your social media at AVMG Digital. AVMG Digital on Instagram, or contact me human as a person. I am Daniel Azure. So I am Daniel Azure on Instagram. The website is very simple: www.avmgdigital.com, and that would bring you contact, phone number, address, email, whatever you need. And if you can't get me, the man in the screen can get you to me. That's Darren Smith. He's the entrepreneur and sort of the elder statesman for sports media entertainment. And I'm so honored to be in your midst today, sir.
Sir, the honor has been all mine. I want to thank you so much for your time. I know you got to go. I've got a radio interview in 10 minutes I have to prepare for. It has been a pleasure, and this will not be the last time that we speak.
Yes, sir. And go Kansas City Chiefs, go Eagles. It's the best of the worlds. But I'm riding with my guy Mahomes with that signature throw. So you already know where I'm standing. May the best.
Hopefully, he pulls a behind the back pass in the in the Super Bowl. Now, if he does that, look, if he does that, I might walk out the press box. But we'll see what happens. Daniel,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time. You have a blessed day and enjoy your weekend and enjoy the
And let me
game.
shout out to my home, my home and my family in London, England. If you're gonna watch the Super Bowl, tune in whatever time on Sunday, 5 hours ahead. I know it might be late at night. It's gonna be worth it. And look out for my guy on Fox Sports with Darren Smith, and all of these networks. Tune into us. It's gonna be live.
Thank you very much. You have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too. Take care.
All
Peace.
right, salute.